Welcome, foolish creatures, to another episode from Fright Chasers. You'll hear spooky calls from our haunted hotline, stories plucked from another dimension with tales from the beyond, oddities galore in news from the beyond, and haunting interviews with your ghost host, Woody G. Watts. Welcome to the Fright Chasers.
This is Woody G. Watts, and this is just a quick update slash change slash, let's see, what else can we call it? What is on the horizons type of episode for those who subscribe, and which I want to personally thank you if you have been a longtime subscriber to this podcast and listen to every haunted hotline, every news from the beyond, every interview, and just kind of me just yapping in the podcast. I appreciate you. So first of all, one of the most notable changes I hope that you have noticed is the name change. We are now called, I'm going to insert a drum roll right there. We are now called Fright Chasers instead of Hill City Paranormal. And I'm going to tell you why right now. For a long time, I have danced the line between actual investigations, actual hunts, haunts, everything, along with adding some entertaining aspects to it all, because I am a filmmaker and I own a studio and podcast company and all this stuff. So of course I like to amp stuff up and make short films, low budget horror movies, and just have fun. So I've been kind of dancing the line on that for a while and wanted to separate what we do versus what actual paranormal teams are out there doing. So I didn't want anybody to come to our feed, to podcast or anything, and then just kind of be confused, say, well, all they do are fake or whatever. No, we actually go in and do hunt for Bigfoot and do, have interviews for alien abductions, and some places have us come in with night vision cameras for what they think are spirits in the building. So we do that, but we also like to have a lot of fun. We also like to do a lot of short films. We like to do zombie stuff. We like to actually put special effects into our productions. And I thought it would be fitting to just kind of give us a rebrand. Call us Fright Chasers. We can have fun. We can still do some of the real stuff under Hill City Paranormal, but there are a lot of great teams out there that are doing wonderful work and that are putting a lot of hard work into what they do. And I didn't want to muddy the waters. So hopefully you have noticed the new album art, Fright Chasers, the new website, frightchasers.com. Well, new, but new logo, same website. But this podcast will still have the same look and feel and vibe to it. And that leads me to another part of this update slash update episode, is that I have a love and passion for just all things unknown and retro and unexplained and just anything kind of eerie and spooky. And that includes 80s horror movies. I love watching those. I always have. And I thought that this would be another outlet for that, where I can talk about my love for the entertaining side of some of these stories that I hear, some where people call into the haunted hotline that are, that directly mimic some of the best movies I've seen made in the 80s and 90s. So the name Fright Chasers really, to me, encompasses my love for actual spooky, unexplained, eerie things out there, and spooky, unexplained horror movies and entertainment out there as well. So that is another reason why you'll notice the name change from Hill City Paranormal, because I really was getting some confusion on my end, and maybe it was just me, maybe no one else picked up on it, but in my world, I was getting confused with the actual investigations versus the entertainment part. And me being the retro lover that I am, I love to kind of combine everything. And this name is more fitting for that. Plus, it was a shorter domain. I'm going to be honest with you. Fright Chasers just has a good ring to it for a television show. Wouldn't you think? Maybe, possibly. And the last update really is a back of house, behind the scenes update. I own a small short film horror movie, low budget kind of entertainment production company. And I've named that Thrasher's Lake Entertainment. And so now Fright Chasers will be underneath of that company. And what that means is that it will be with the other stuff that I do, especially the passion project that I love and that I do with my good friend Jeremy called Grime Scene Z11. And if you go to thrasherslake.com, you can see our very first episode that we shot maybe as a pilot. If someone saw it and wanted to make it into a TV series with us, we'd love to. But if not, we plan on doing more episodes. But that is a zombie /cops/Reno 911 mix up. So as you could see, my interests are all over the board. They really range from actual spooky stories where people call into the haunted hotline to just my love for John Carpenter, for one, for everything he touches in the movie world. And now this podcast will help me focus and help me kind of get that part of my personality out, and in a more laid back way. To be honest with everyone, I do a lot of true crime podcasts as well that are really produced and that I cut up and really try to seem professional. And Fright Chasers and Thrasher's Lake Entertainment is where I can relax, be myself, and let you into the world of Woody's head and my love for all things 80s horror and all things Bigfoot and UFOs and ghosts and yes, absolutely Disney's Haunted Mansion. That is top on my list. So that is why the vibe for this is all over the place, because I am all over the place. Another project that I just have to throw a plug in for is a podcast that we have just produced called Bigfoot Classified. That is available now. You can visit the website bigfootclassified.com. That is actually a true story. This is a borderline true crime podcast. I can't really call it true crime, but maybe you can. A true crime / supernatural podcast where we dive into some of the biggest conspiracy theories that involve Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, but approach it in a documentary way. And that is for, like I said, my day job, where we do podcasts for other companies and we do documentaries and commercials. And I encourage you to go listen to that, because if you are into true crime and you're into Bigfoot, but you're into a storytelling way of going about this in a documentary format where we approach the subject in a very true way. There's no embellishing. These are eyewitness accounts. I would encourage you to go subscribe to Bigfoot Classified. You may have heard the trailer on here on this podcast. We released that a little while ago, but that show is in its second season. And by seasons, I am covering a case in each season. And we have done 2. We did the Mount St. Helens eruption in 1980 that supposedly there was a Bigfoot cover up on that. We did a season on Battle Mountain, Nevada on season 2, which is super interesting. And then I am working on season 3 right now, which I've got to be honest, season 3 is going to be crazy. It is a story I didn't know anything about until starting this podcast. And I was doing the Battle Mountain story, but then kind of researching this other season that I'm about to do. And I could not wait to almost leapfrog and go to this, but I said, wait, let's give it some time. Let's do it right. So if you're into true crime / Bigfoot, please go listen to Bigfoot Classified and visit bigfootclassified.com. I would love for you to give that a listen and subscribe to that too. And I can't tell you when season 3 will come out, but if you like season 1 and 2, stay tuned. There is more on the way, and be sure to like and review that one. So in short and in closing, this quick update / what do we call it? Update episode. Just to let you know that yes, the name has changed. I hope to bring you some more calls from the Haunted Hotline, to bring you some more Tales from the Beyond stories from other directors and creators in the area. I have some plans for that, and some updates from Thrasher's Lake Entertainment. We're sponsoring a really cool event this October that I can't say yet, but I will when I am allowed to. But we are sponsoring that event coming up, and I myself have several speaking engagements lined up for the fall to talk all things cryptid, spooky, local haunts, and again, my love for making Bigfoot films and scary movies. And another thing you may not have known about me is that in my day job, which I own a commercial company where we make local commercials, and several are for car companies and car dealerships and stuff like that. And every chance I get, I try to include Bigfoot, UFOs, or ghosts. And so I have snuck my very first commercial, just to let you in, this is going to be a little bit longer than what I thought. My very first commercial was running in the local theaters here in the area, the Regal Cinema, but the local car dealership, the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership, had booked TV time or advertising slots in the theater. And they wanted something creative. And the general manager there, all his words is, Woody, I want you to make it sticky. I want people to come in, remember the commercial when they leave after the movie. I don't want a normal commercial on there talking about interest rates, financing, blah, blah, blah. Be creative. And I went to my go-to passion. I put Bigfoot. I put Bigfoot in my very first commercial where he stole a pickup from my good friend, best friend, Jeremy, who lives right next door, who is actually in several of the Hill City Paranormal, now Fright Chasers videos. You'll see he was in that. He plays a character called Rick Ram, who has his truck stolen by Bigfoot. And so ever since then, Bigfoot has kind of been snuck into my productions when the customers allow for my day job at Watts Creative Studios. But under Thrasher's Lake Entertainment, the reins are off. He's in it. Ghosts are in it. UFOs are out there. We are putting everything into these productions. So I thank you for listening, subscribing. I am constantly humbled and just flattered that people listen to this little podcast that we produce, and that the subscriber numbers are where they are, the downloads, the charts. We really appreciate you and thank you. And I hope to get back on track with some more content this year. I know I hit it pretty hot and heavy a couple of years ago, right around the start of COVID, because business slowed down during the day. So I was able to produce what some fun stuff on my own. And I'm hoping to get back to that. And this, and with several updates like this, I am motivated. We are motivated as a studio and as podcast production, and we have stories coming out. So just a lot of good stuff coming down, and I appreciate you listening. And this has been the update episode that I thought needed to be had in a casual, raw way. So welcome to the real Woody. Try not to be too produced in this. Let you get to know me like I am in some of my videos, and let me segue that over to the podcast. So thank you for listening. You are listening to Fright Chasers, formerly known as Hill City Paranormal, but Fright Chasers. So be sure to visit frightchasers.com. I have updated that a little bit. I have the podcast on there as usual, but I also have a neat player on there that rotates all of the videos that we've done, kind of like a streaming service or whatever. It's free. It's on the homepage. It's just if you're bored and you want something to watch during the day, where we kind of act silly and we put all of our content on there, that's running on there. And on the website, we have all of our videos that we've done, the actual investigations, some of the funny ones that we did during COVID. And you'll see more videos obviously come up. And listen, look out for Thrasher's Lake Entertainment. We have a big announcement for this event we're doing later in the year. So look out for that. Follow Thrasher's Lake on Instagram, Facebook for updates, and look for some more productions. I'm kind of nailing down another project with some local filmmakers that I'm really excited about for some low to no budget horror movies, and in the old school anthology way. So I'm very excited about all this. So thank you so much. Follow us on Instagram at fright.chasers and on Facebook at Fright Chasers, and just visit the website at frightchasers.com. And this is your host, Woody G. Watts.
Be sure to check out our website at frightchasers.com and call our haunted hotline at 701-HAUNTED. That's 701-428-6833. With your spooky tale. We're dying to hear it. Thank you for listening to the Fright Chasers.